Alright, so here's a go to bed or place for this dog doesn't know anything. I don't know how much obedience they want to do. So she knows this already. So but I just want to show the steps, right? So you take your food. So there's games that you can do some food. The problem with rude dogs and doing that is we need to take control. This dog is rude. Not this dog. The dog that this video is for is really rude, and he needs to have to go on his place because he doesn't let the person have people over and on the couch and all that. Not aggressive about it. He's just rude. Right? So we want the bed to be a fun, good, calm place for him, but he also has to pay attention to the mama, which there's a whole lot of other stuff that probably needs to be addressed, but this is the main issue. So you're gonna take your food and you're gonna go to bed, and there's no leash pressure here. Good, right? And then from there, right? So you mark and reward when they're there, and then you go off and point, and then leash pressure. Right? I personally reward them getting off. Um, a lot of people that I know say not to do that because off needs to be, hey, get off. But maybe since the dog's rude, maybe we should, because he'll jump up and he needs to get off anyways, right? So again, you take food and you go to bed, and you movement. So it's the good and lure down. She's super good, so it's not gonna be this hard. I mean, it's not gonna be this easy, right? Ready? Off. It's the word, the hand motion, the consequence. Good. And you can use a little movement to help her, right? So let's go from this way. And I always do it from different ways, even from the start. Right, so say right here, say you go, if you say go to bed and then you start the movement, right? So you're gonna do the verbal command, the physical cue, which is gonna be your hand swipe, and then you have your lure, right? If they don't want to go, you use leash pressure, especially for rude butt heads, right? Not necessarily that this guy's a butt head, but the ones that are. So you're gonna go to bed in your physical, and you go up to it and straight down, right? Now you might have to start with doing this. A lot of times this is the first step, right? Ready? Off. Little leash pressure and reward. So a lot of times this is your first step. Now you probably don't have a pet cot, but if you got a dog bed for the dog, if not, just get a blanket or a towel or something. It can't be an arbitrary spot on the floor. If it's just an arbitrary spot on the floor, it's going to be very hard for him, especially at the beginning, right? So you might have to just walk up to it and do it while he's standing on it. Reward him for getting on it. Ready? Off. So a lot of times that's the first step. Whatever the spot is, you just get up and reward that. Right? Especially since he doesn't know any obedience, you might have to do this first step. Get up. Once he's on the spot, mark it. Right? Mark it and reward it. Reward it. The more you reward, the more you're gonna get. So if you're just taking them up on there, now there are some dogs that I've had to use the pressure and just get them up on it because they're butt heads and don't listen. Right? It's usually when I'm trying to fix things, though, not when I'm just teaching it. Does that make sense? So you might have to go to bed, and you might do this, and he might not go like this. Bam, perfect. So you use your leash pressure and your motion for motivation, and just get him standing on it at first, and then you can work this. Ready? Off. Good. All right. So it's go to bed, motion, on, food straight down. All right. What you might have to do with this guy. Ready? Off. Good. What you might have to do with yours is you might have to go through the whole process. Go to bed, and it doesn't matter how long this takes. As long as you're right, you might have to lure him into a sit, which is just taking from his nose to the back, and then straight down. Once you get here, a lot of times to start with, you might have to bring it all the way under the bed. That's why these raised cots are really really good, because you bring the food way down and it makes them lay down. Whereas if you're just using a couch, ready off. So that's for your go to bed and off, right? Then you can also do this, right? Ready, go to bed. So now she's gonna go to bed. You can require the down, reward it, and then the last one that you do, you don't want to do a whole ton of these at a time. The last one you do, you go break, use break and walk off, right? And then now you're done with your session, right? So you probably only want to spend about 5 minutes. Try to get as many reps as you can. Start with just walking on it, maybe getting on it and going into a sit. Um, you're such a good girl, right? And then you get your duration by this, right? So you can get duration of him being on it by standing there. If he's about to get off by himself, you use spatial pressure. You go, and you step back into him, and he's going to go back on it. If he tries to run off, the key is you want to have you a little leash on. So if he tries to run off that way, you're going to step on it and grab it, and you're going to put him back on it. If he breaks off, nope, on your bed. And it's just, it might be a ping pong, but every time he gets off, you got to get him back on, because he's going to do that. If you send him on his bed and you go to sit down on the couch with a friend, he's going to try to get off. So he has to have those mistakes of being corrected and put back in place, right? So that way it becomes, when you're sitting on the couch and he goes to get up, nope, on your bed, right? And then say he wants to go somewhere else, then you can just tell him to break. So start with a non-arbitrary spot. It has to be, something raised is much better. So if he has a dog bed, if you have a pet cot, which you probably don't, you don't have to buy one just for this. Get like a towel or something that's different than the floor. So it's a non-arbitrary spot. Just get him going on it. Reward for going on it. Do that 3, 4, 5 times. So look, as long as she stays on here, I don't care. There's a guy with a dog over there, so I can reward. Good girl. I can break her focus on there. Good girl. All right. So say she was to get off. Let's see if my movement makes her get off. She should be good enough if it doesn't. Nope. On your bed. Right. So there you go. So you just put them right back on. Good. And if they break, I'll usually mark that they did good. Some people will say that's bad, but I usually won't reward for getting back on. Right. But I like to tell them, good, that's what I want. I'll only reward if they don't break. Break. Good girl. All right, let's go. We're going to save heel drills for later, right? You want to play?